in approximately 40 seconds. Hi, and thank you for joining me this Saturday evening. My name is Wayne from Ascend Custom Designs. I am a small business owner and a part of the Xtool Squad program. What is the Xtool Squad, you might ask? The Xtool Squad is a global network of experienced makers, educators, and small business owners, such as myself. We offer one-on-one demos of the Xtool products that we own. Demos are a mix of online and in person. It differs by host. We offer material testing and skill training. Material testing involves testing customer supplied samples under a number of different parameters to give you perfect results. And skill training is essentially a one-on-one masterclass with an Xtool Squad member. So we'll hold your hand and walk you through all the various steps that you're trying to achieve. So we will help perfect any projects that you're looking at doing, and we'll also help with any issues that you're having getting results. If you have any questions about that, please do let me know. I do have something special to show you today. I have the Xtool M2, the newly released M2. But if you would like to book a one-on-one demo with an Xtool Squad member, so not just myself, but another squad member, go to support.xtool.com/xtool-squad, and I'll show you how to get that on Xtool's website. So if you navigate to local service and product demo, it will ask for your location. And all you have to do is enter location in. And I could go in person, and I'm looking there, and there we have it. If you're looking for a particular type of machine, so I have the newly released M2. You can find a selection of people that have it. And it's that simple. You can also do online. So I offer both in-person and online demos. They're absolutely free. The only cost comes down to the apparel printer film. So if you're looking for the apparel printer and you're looking for an actual sample of the DTF, there is a cost for that, and that's mostly to cover the host's time as well as shipping and packaging charges. I hope that helps. If you want to find out more information, by all means go to that page and have a look at it. There's no need to enter credit card information when you're booking a product demo. You simply enter in your name, phone number, and address, and that's all it is. If you're looking for material testing and skill training, there isn't a charge for that, and the host gets paid that. The reason why the demos are absolutely free is Xtool have this promotion. They will pay the host, so they're paying whoever you book with for their time. And that's regardless whether you buy or not. So there's no pressure. And again, if you want to find out more information, go to that website. Alternatively, scan the QR code above my head. Or that way even. And that will take you to my Xtool Squad profile where you can book myself. Xtool also have an additional promotion running at the moment. When 10 people buy an M2 live, one of you will get the M2 absolutely free. So there's a 10% chance that you'll get the machine absolutely free. I have more information for that. If you're looking at purchasing an M2, please reach out to me. I'll send you the link I will be live next week and I'll be actively promoting that. But I might have already sold 10 units, so it might not be applicable. So if you're looking to purchase an M2, I can get you a slight discount and enter you into that little promotion that Xtool's running. So I do have a few things that I want to cover today. This is just a rough idea of what I have planned. I will be covering the M2 so that I know that's not on here. I've not had time to add it on there, but I will be covering the M2, the newly released M2. I have the 10 watt deluxe version, so that includes the 10 watt laser module, the rotary attachment, as well as the inkjet head, and that's a full color inkjet head. And I'll show you the M2 on the website, as well as all the machines that I have physically as we go through it. And then we'll jump straight into Xtool Creative Studio. It's just recently updated to version 1.7. I think it's 1.7.2. I may or may not cover custom things, but we'll definitely cover the AI make, and then some of the items that we have, custom cards, keychains. I have a ton of stuff here in the office, so if anyone has something they want me to work on, if I have the material, I'll show you that live. So again, please reach out. My contact details are on the left just below me. Reach out there or drop me a message in the chat. If you're watching live, drop me an email or message me on WhatsApp. If you're watching live, drop it in the comments and I'll see that live and I'll be able to respond to you quicker, as I won't be checking my phone. With that being said, this is the Xtool F2. So if I show you all the machines, I guess would be helpful. So these are all the machines that I'll be demoing today. So this is the Xtool newly released M2. And it's a gantry based laser. This is the Xtool F2 Ultra, much bigger machine, can engrave directly to glass, among other things. And this machine here is the Xtool F2. So this is a tiny machine, very reasonably priced, and is capable of engraving on well over 300 plus material types. And I'll show you that just a little bit later. If I go over here and we'll jump straight onto the F2. So it's a 5 watt, 15 watt diode laser. Like I said, it's capable of engraving over 300 plus materials. And that's because it has 2 different lasers. So the 5 watt infrared is very good for marking metal, and the 15 watt diode is very good for engraving on organic material, such as cardboard, slate. In terms of speed, it operates at a max speed of 6,000 millimeters a second. So to put that into context, the M2 has a max speed of 600 millimeters a second. And again, the difference is because one's a gantry-based system, the F line of Xtool's products are galvo lasers. They use a mirror to bounce the laser around the bed. And because of that, they're able to achieve very high speeds. But one of the drawbacks is the bed size. So you have a much smaller work area. This has a camera. It has a 50 megapixel camera. It's capable of an alignment accuracy of up to 0.1 millimeters. And that's when it's fully focused. So in terms of focusing, there's a couple ways to focus it. I'll show you that as I go along. In terms of assembly, it comes pre-assembled. It's ready to use once you do a brief calibration test. And the calibration test is just so you get the best results. When the lasers move, things move internally, so they need to be calibrated. I know this because I moved my lasers to the NEC and back again, and I had to calibrate them both times. In terms of the work area, you're looking at 11.5 by 11.5 centimeters. So that's roughly the size of a slate coaster. So these are 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. So you got a little place. So excellent for small items. I use this for slate coasters, keychains, all sorts of things. Can expand that work area to 11.5 by 40 centimeters. So you get 40 centimeters width, and that's with the slide extension. And you can engrave on the bigger objects with that. So you'll buy the slide extension if you've got, say, a 30 centimeter piece of wood that's by 10 centimeters. The slide extension will be perfect for that, or you might want to engrave 4 coasters at once. So Xtool have you covered in that regard. In terms of the Xtool F2 Ultra UV, it's a 5-watt UV laser. So you might be thinking the other one was a 5-watt laser, completely different type of laser. So this laser is an ultraviolet laser, sometimes referred to as a cold processing laser, and that's simply because it doesn't create much heat. It does create heat, but not, it's minimal heat compared to the other types of laser. So it uses its high photon energy to break down the molecular bonds of whatever material it's engraving, and it does so with minimal heat. You can still create a fire with this, so I just want to make you aware of that. In terms of speeds, it has a max speed of 15,000 millimeters a second. That's 150% faster than the F2. It also has a camera, so it has a 48 megapixel camera, and I should have noted that these devices with the cameras provide a live workspace snapshot. So when you place something in the work area, it will take a picture using the camera, and you can align stuff on the workbed using that camera. So it's not a real-time camera, it's just a snapshot of what's in the bed at the time. It has an alignment accuracy of up to 0.2 millimeters, so it's still fairly accurate. And then this machine is capable of engraving on the inside of glass with the field lens. So it has a different lens that you can put in, and you can actually engrave on the inside of glass. I will be demoing that down the road. It's just that it takes a while to engrave on the inside of glass. I do have some keychains that I will look at engraving, and they'll be much quicker. So we will be covering that at some point. Again, this machine comes pre-assembled and it's ready to use at the box once you do the calibration test. And there's also some laser safety training that you only do once with any of their products, and then you're good to go. In terms of workspace, it has a workspace area of 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. And again, you can expand this with the conveyor belt, and that's for the ultras. So it's a different type of system, not compatible with the smaller F1 and F2. So this one's specifically for the ultras, and it's literally a conveyor belt, and it gives you a work area of 20 centimeters of height still, but 50 centimeters of width. If you want to find out more information about the F2 Ultra UV, scan the QR code below, and it'll take you to Xtool's official website. Now what I'll do is I'll just quickly jump over to the Xtool line of products. I'll physically show you the products, and I'll see if I can see if my Stream Deck over here is playing ball. It is not, fortunately. So this is the M2, which I will be using later. This is the F2 Ultra UV. So we just put that on the floor. I don't know how well you can see this if I zoom in manually. There we go. You will be able to see 2 little dots. So when these dots are aligned, the machine is in focus. So I'm going to use this little device here. So this is specific to the Ultras. So the F1 Ultra, the F2 Ultra, and the F2 Ultra UV all have these little touch tablets or touch screen devices. This does work with the smaller F2, but it doesn't come with it. You can apparently buy these separately. If you are looking to purchase one of these for the F2, please do let me know. But you're able to control this using up and down. That's the framing button. let's see if I can. There, so that's the framing button. This button is what you'll press to start the job. So I'm going to press this up and down, and you'll see that the dot there will move. So when the two dots are intersected, so when they become one, that means the material is perfectly in focus with the lens. And it's a very similar process on this device here. So on the side is a knob, and you can raise or lower the bed using the dot. There we go. And there we go. The machine is now in focus. So I hope that was helpful in terms of buttons on the machines. There we go. Zoom out. Okay. So this machine has a dial on the side here. It can go up or down. It does have a frame button. It has power on the back to turn it off and on. This red button here is an emergency stop. If I whack that, it will cut power to the machine. This is not an off button. Don't use it as such. And then this machine, you can't see it, but on the side, there is equally a emergency stop. And then there's some USB connectivity on the side, so you can hook up to your computer directly by cable. You can also plug in a USB drive. And then you have the power. So the way you control it is through this little touchpad, whereas this one, you use the dial on the side. The M2 is different, so I'll show you that. But the M2 is a very nice in the sense it has two cameras. So I wasn't sure how this was going to work, and it turns out it works absolutely fantastic. So as I open this up, there is a camera just here. There is also a closer camera, and it's attached to this device here. So this is where the laser head attaches. So if I open this up, and what I can do is I can just detach this just by simply unplugging it. So the way it's connected is by a USB-C cable. So at the moment, this is the print head, or this is the laser even, sorry. So it's just that simple. I can take this off. You can see here the USB-C connectivity. I can take this off here, put that over there. This is the print module. You might not be able to see it, but in the corner here is some hooks that you screw in. And what it does is it slides this underneath them hooks, and it will pull this off magnetically. So this is what keeps the ink from stop drying up. But if I want to attach this print head, I simply snap it in place like that, and I plug in the USB-C cable like that. And it's literally that simple. When you close this lid, one thing that I like about this, when you close this lid, it will make a beep. I don't know if you heard that, but what that beep is it takes a snapshot of what's in the work area. It's actually really nice. So I could put this in the work area, take a, close the lid, and it's took a snapshot and it automatically uploads to Xtool Creative Studio. It's very, very nice. And what I'll do is I'll go over here and we'll just cover some brief laser safety training. So in terms of laser safety, you do not want to leave any of the machines unattended. They are laser sources that can create fire. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. If you have to leave the machine alone, you can pause the job and you can have it continue where it left off. So I've done that when I've needed to leave urgently. You can pause and there's no, generally speaking, I've not had any issues with the quality of the product when I've resumed it. So you do have that option, flat stable surface. So you want all these machines to be on a flat stable surface, especially the gantry based ones. They will rock, and you will have issues if it causes the whole thing to move around, so to speak. Now, in terms of the machines, you do not want to modify them. They're fully enclosed. At least the M2 is fully enclosed, so it's a class 1 laser. You cannot operate that machine with the lid open. So that machine, you don't have to worry about accidentally operating it with it open, not that you really can. The F series, you can operate them with the guard open, so you can override it. When you do, you need to take the appropriate protection, and I'll cover that just a little later. Ventilation. So I have the M2 venting outside the window, I have the F2 Ultra venting outside the window, and I have the F2 venting to the smoke purifier. So I will change that to vent outside as the included hose pipe will reach. I just wanted it to demo the air purifier. And if you can't vent it outside, you will need an air purifier. So the F2, the air purifier is nice and tiny, about 200 something pound. It's not expensive. You can vent the M2 to the small air purifier. You'll just need to contact Xtool when you do to get the adapter. So they'll provide an adapter free of charge. And then when it comes to engraving, there's a few types of material that you should never engrave. PVC and vinyl. Never engrave them. So if you're going to cut vinyl, you do not want to laser it. You want to cut it with an actual blade. And that's because it produces a very dangerous chemical for your lungs. And that same chemical will damage your laser. So just it's not worth doing. If you're unsure about engraving materials, always check. For example, certain types of leather, the way that they're tanned, it might produce harmful chemicals. Always check that it's laser safe. And then in terms of glasses, so Xtool have their own glasses, which I use. I do have a third-party pair, so these are Xtool's glasses. These are a third-party pair. I know that these glasses will not protect me from the spectrum of light when I operate the UV laser, so I know these will. In terms of price, they're very comparable to third-party pairs in terms of cost. So for ease of use, I just went with Xtool's. So if we go to if I go back and just go to my basket. Here I have a range of things. So you do have the bigger smoke purifier. That's the Xtool F2 Ultra UV, the 5 watt. This is the newly released M2. So this is the exact model that I have. And that comes again with the rotary light. So it's not the same rotary tool that you might have seen. And it works very differently. And then this also has the inkjet module. This is the conveyor belt for the Ultras. And then this is the slide extension for the F series, the small ones, the F1, F2, just the Diddy ones. Then you have the rotary devices. This one's fully magnetic. It's compatible with the F2 Ultras, as well as the F2 and the P3 series. And then these are the glasses. So again, these aren't just normal safety glasses. These are protecting you against very specific wavelengths of light, and they're listed here. So you can see that these work with the F2, F1, F1 Ultra, F2 Ultra, F2 Ultra UV. And in terms of these ones, it's not really applicable. So the S1 is fully enclosed. You can't operate it with the lid up. Same with the M1 Ultra, M1, as well as the M2. I can't operate the M2 with the lid up. So if this is going to be your first machine, the M2, you don't need a pair of safety glasses. If the only additional accessory you might need is the air purifier, and that's if you can't vent it outside, if you're not close to a window. So if we jump over to Xtor Creative Studio. So Xtor Creative Studio has just recently updated to version 1.7. They've added a ton of features. I'll briefly cover those in their release notes. So there's a major file format upgrade. If this is the first time using it, it's not really applicable to you. Just know they've changed the file format, so it works better. It's more efficient with larger files, so that's grand. It's got a template library now. They also show some of the actions before you apply it, what it will look like, so you don't have to use an action to realize it's the wrong one and then undo it. You can have text on the inside or outside of a path. So if you're engraving, say, let's just say you got a circle and you want to engrave on the outside of the circle some text and you want it to follow the circle, they've made it nice and easy to do that, and you can now do that on the inside or outside of the shape. Shadow effects, all sorts of things. They're constantly updating the software, and that for me is a big deal. I used to use Lightburn, and up until a couple of years ago, I used Lightburn exclusively. And then Xtor made a major change to their software. Not only was it easier, it was faster to use than Lightburn, and there's no cost to it. So Lightburn has a cost. It's industrial laser engraving software. It's a fantastic piece of software, but it's nowhere near as user-friendly as Xtor Creative Studio. And again, Xtor Creative Studio has no cost to it. When you buy the laser, you download the software, it's absolutely free, and it just works. And you can operate multiple lasers very, very easily. So as you can see, there's many things that's been added. If you purchase the M2, you want the latest version of the software. So if I go back here, if you go along the top, you've got this software tab, Xtor Studio, download. And again, this is the latest version. So it's version 1.7.24, sorry. And you can download it for Apple Silicon. You can download it for old style Apple, Intel-based ones. And you can download it for Windows. So Windows 10 it does work on, as well as Windows 11. You can install it on multiple machines. There's no limitation to the number of machines that you can install it on, as long as you meet the minimum requirements. The minimum requirements are listed here. Most modern day computers will meet those minimum requirements. It's not generally an issue. And again, if you have any issues, please reach out and I'll either help you or point you in the right direction. So if we switch over to the actual software, my advice is always to go check out this Xtor Academy. I constantly get asked if there's an official resource. There is now an official resource. So these are Xtor endorsed videos. So you select the machine that you want. Let's just say the F2 Ultra. You would click on that and it will give you some videos for the F2 Ultra. My advice is to do the laser safety training. So you got that laser safety training here. At the end of it, you get a certificate. You have to do it. This comes in handy if you're working in craft fairs. It's part of your health and safety risk assessment that you sometimes have to do. Well worth doing, and you only get one pair of eyes. And you can filter this out, so you could go M2, and there you have it. So it's literally that simple. One of the other things you can do is you've got the Atom. So Xtor have created an entire ecosystem. So not just software that works the machines. It's a place where you can download projects. You can even upload projects, and you earn some type of points that you can redeem. So it promotes sharing projects. Some projects are paid for, some are free. You have both laser cut and print. So if you have the apparel printer or the when the resin printer gets released, the UV DTF printer. You can use that with this. So at the moment, this is just for the apparel printer, but Xtool will integrate all their products into this. And then you have the Customthings. I've used this. This comes in absolutely handy. It's a fantastic piece of software. If you don't have an online store, you can have one set up in literally minutes, and it sets you up for success. I demoed this on Friday to a potential customer, and they could see that the uses for this in their store. So one of the best things about this is you add a product. In this case, I added some custom cards. When you go to it, so what I'll do is I will edit it. You add all the parameters in there. So at the moment, I'll just give a general overview of the cards, just some text. I've give some deviation in terms of color, some variants, so blue, red, and yellow. And then set prices, uploaded product of pictures of the actual work area. Set that up. It's really straightforward. If you're looking to do this, please reach out to me. I've allowed what they're allowed to do, and literally that simple. And then you hit confirm, and it's published. If a user goes to your website, to your Customthings, they place an order, it will pop up here. And all you have to do is click on that order, and it will open up straight away into Xtool Creative Studio, ready for you to engrave. Literally, the customer has done all of the work. So if I go over to this version here, so I'll go over to orders. So I'm going to place an order. I'll customize. I want a yellow card. I will customize it, and I can upload an image. So if there's anyone watching that wants to upload an image, you would just simply scan that QR code. And what it will do is it will upload an image. So if there's anyone watching that wants to upload an image, you can scan that QR code on your phone and you can upload an image. And what happens is when you upload an image, so if no one's going to do it, what I'll do is I will do it now. So I'm going to just take my phone. So I've got my phone. I'm going to scan that QR code. I've scanned the QR code. It's taken me to a website. So now it's changed on the screen. And I don't know how well you can see that. But basically, switch to the desk camera in a bit. But I will select the phone. So I'll take a photo of myself. And what I'll do is I just took a photo of myself. I'll use that photo. And it's uploading. Like, honestly, you could have this at a craft fair and it will make your life so much easier. You're not on the machine, on the laptop, making designs. One of the common problems that I have, that I spoke to many businesses and they have, is when you get orders on Etsy or email, however you're doing it, and you're copying and pasting names. Sometimes you do it wrong. And it's annoying. It's, you know, you're wasted material, you're wasted time. This solves that issue. If something is wrong, it's the customer's fault. It's not your fault. So you're not having to spend money remaking something. If it's wrong because of something you've done and it's not as advertised, then you're not duty bound, but you should either refund the customer or replace the item. So this puts the onus on the customer to get it right. If there's a name that's wrong, they entered it. you didn't touch it. All you did is literally run the job. So I'm going to confirm this. What I'll do is if I select that, and I'll go to the crop, and what I'll do is I'll just crop some of the top out. There we go. And if I hit confirm design, so I have that in the middle, confirm design, I'll give it an email address, and then it's literally that simple. So wayne@sendcd.com, confirm. So you can customize this field whatever you want. Now, if I go over to this and go to orders, reload this page, you'll find that that's in there. So if I hit process, it will open up straight away into Xtool Creative Studio. So you can see here, preview of what it is. If I've enabled the back and front or multiple sides, you'll see snapshots of what it should look like or what the customer expects it to look like on the product. So if I hit process, it will process it right away. So I can download it for offline use. So I might want to archive it and then download PNG file. That just downloads this file or file here. So if I hit this process, it will open up straight away into Xtool Creative Studio. And there you see it's loaded it ready to use, and it'll have all the settings that I've set for engraving this on this specific type of material. It even has the thickness of the material, so it'll set the focus of the laser automatically to whatever you've set. You can still change it manually. And it's literally that simple. It comes in very, very nice. So you can just have an operator whose job is to engrave material. So you can concentrate on what you do best, shipping finished products. And it's well worth the cost. So there is a cost to this. And the cost is actually minimal for what it provides. So when you go to Customthings, so the version I just showed you there is an enterprise version. That's if you have multiple stores. Most people that will be watching might be first-time business owners. This would be the version that you have. So this, the only difference is the multiple stores aspect. So in terms of cost, they do have a free plan. You can see if it works. I advise testing it out. You can process 10 items a month. If you do decide to upgrade to a paid plan, the first 7 days are free. You can get the first month for $1. After that, it's $29 a month, and you get to process 100 items. But if you think about in terms of how many products you have to redo because you've done it wrong, this literally pays for itself. They do have a more expensive plan that enables you to process more items. It does have a lower transaction. So if you use their payment gateway, so 3.9 on the first pay plan, and it's 3.5 plus 30 cents on the more advanced payment plan. They do have enterprise edition available. So if you've got multiple stores or you're looking at doing something different, please reach out and we'll be sure to get you started and give you training on it. So if we just jump straight over to the software, I'm going to test out the M2. So to start a new project, simply click new project. Now what I'll do is I will show you the laser engraver as well as my face. So we'll have a look at the M2. So I know I haven't listed that, but we'll have a quick look at the M2 and we'll see what we can do in the next 20 minutes. So to switch the machine, simple case of going up and you got switch devices, connect devices. You can operate one device, have it running, move to the next device. It's really simple, really easy to switch and use multiple devices at once. So if I switch to the M2, the machine's turned on from sleep mode. You can see there that it's took a snapshot of what is in the work area. So what I'll do is I'll just show that just so there's more real estate for you to see. But what I'm going to do is put some yellow cardstock, or we'll try a white piece of paper. So at the moment, the print head's on there. I did do a test today with a customer. So I'll just put that in there. And you can see as soon as I close this lid, you'll see it take a snapshot. So I'll stay over here. I absolutely love that feature. It's wonderful. So I can move it around. I can go, do you know what? Over there. Now, at the moment, it's lasering on a flat surface. So I have the print module attached to this. So you simply inkjet, take a picture. Absolutely wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that around the bed again, just so you can see. So if I lift this up, absolutely wonderful. It's a very, very nice feature. So this machine is very user friendly. So we talked about it having two cameras. So that was the camera that's attached to the lid. I can use the camera to do a close-up shot of a very specific area. So you see the rectangle, that's the area it's going to take a snapshot of. So I'll go, okay, I'll take a snapshot of this. So you can see it loading and boom, it's done. Now you might say, I want to take a snapshot of a larger area. You've got this close-up stitching. So I can say, I want to take a picture of that. And now it's stitching the pictures together. So you can see that laser moving around. And it's that simple. So it's very, very accurate. So you can see the color difference. So if I just take a picture, so that's just a normal picture, you can see the difference. So that's the picture from the lens that's attached to the lid. Now, if I just do that again, so I'll try and get half of one like that. You can see the difference. So it's a 5 megapixel camera and a 2 megapixel camera. But the reason why it works great is that one camera is so close. So although it's not something like a 50 megapixel camera, you are able to get wonderfully detailed snapshot. I would highly recommend you book a demo if you want to find out more information, more intricate details about this machine. But at the moment, it's a wonderful device. It honestly is. And the ease of use, switching between the lenses, is absolutely amazing. So if we print some text, so I'm going to print some text below it, and I'll just say Wayne. So at the moment, you have the fill and you have the stroke. So the stroke is the outside. So I might want the outside green, and the fill is what's on the inside, and I might want the inside black, or I might want it all green. If I just use, let's just say we go red. So I go like a reddish color, like that. And I go, okay, I might want the stroke red too. And this recent colors, that's also handy. So I know it's all the same color. And we'll see how close we can get. So I'll leave just a little bit of gap. There we go. We see just how accurate this is. I've not tested this accuracy in this way. I've tested it in other ways. So this would be a first. I've done like engraves. So I've not tested the accuracy of the print head in terms of how it goes with the camera. And you may or may not have seen, but basically it's also took, when you take a picture, it's measured the depth, the thickness of the material, and you can do it manually. So I can aim it and I can go, do you know what? There. And it comes back, and this is an approximate figure, so it varies very slightly. And for what it's going to do, it's actually not going to make that much of a difference. So I'm going to get a snapshot of just there. I'm very happy with how that's going to proceed. So I hit process, hit start. And it's ready to rumble. So if I hit start, so what it's doing now is it's just took off the print head. And bear in mind, I've not stuck the material down with any magnets. So it does come with some magnets. If I full screen the so it's finished. If I full screen that, it does come with these magnets that you can place. They stick down, and you can, if you got material, they pop up and they hold down. So it's actually quite ingenious. These, if you're engraving some material and want air on them, use it to prop things up. It's really smart, if you ask me. So I didn't stick any of that down, and as you can see, printed my name. See the accuracy. If I show you that underneath the desk camera, if I switch to my desk camera and just hold that there, if I switch to the engraver cam, so if I switch that there and switch, we hit finish. So that's what it looked like on the screen, and that is what we got. Very, very accurate. If you ask me, that's for the price point. It's absolutely amazing. I wasn't expecting the accuracy of the cameras to be as accurate as it is, but that, like I said, that camera that's close to the different heads, it's absolutely fantastic at knowing the distance. If I measure that, there is a measuring tool, measurement. If I do measure that, if I zoom in more, so if I measure from, redo, there we go. If I clear that, so if I measure from, say, here to here, .33 is where it's at. So now what I'll do is I'm going to measure, so 0.33. And I don't. So 0.33, so it's less than a millimeter. In fact, I don't know how. So I've got 0.3. Wow. So I'm measuring this with my calipers. So I have 0.33 here. So what I did, I just had a look, and I don't know how well you can see that, but indeed 0.3 is the gap. So the camera is absolutely on point. I'm not sure what the accuracy is, the tolerance of this machine. I'm going to dig out the specs for next week, but that additional camera is absolutely ingenious. And the same thing can be said about the way that it engraves. So this doesn't have a base, so you can't make it, you can't raise it up. So because of that, you would think you can't engrave tumblers, but you can. The rotary attachment slides in on the side. I shouldn't say slides in on the side. The way the rotary attachment works is the laser head engraves from the side. So if I was to show you a video, so if we go to Xtor Creative Studio, Xtor Creative Studio, the Xtor M2, and if you scroll down, so this is that dual camera system that I showed you. Absolutely fantastic. So we scroll down, automated. So that's that one camera. And it's even got automatic material detection. I have not tested that out. That's fantastic. So I'm going to give that a try. If we scroll down, it does have the rotary device. So this 360 engraving, no risers required. So the M2 is designed for direct cylindrical engravements from 0 to 100 millimeters, so up to 10 centimeters. So as you can see, it engraves at an angle, which never thought about that before. But I will be demoing that. I do have tumblers, so we will give that a go. These are the different modules that you can get. So 10-watt diode, 20-watt diode. So if you're looking to put thicker material, that is what you want, the higher power. The infrared, very good for engraving metals as well as some plastics. And then you have the CMYK inkjet, which has one more color than the M1 Ultra. And that is pretty much it. It's for the M2, it's a fantastic piece of kit. So when you engrave, it's just a simple case of switching out the module. So if I was to show you that, so I did show you that briefly, but let's just say I'm done with this. I just pull it out just like that. It's literally just that simple. And you got magnets, and it only slots in one way, and it just automatically clips in, holds in place. It's very secure. And then the hardest bit is just putting the power back in the side, which it's very simple to do that. It's USB-C, it's an angled USB-C, and that's it, it's done. And you do have to operate the machine with this fully down. And again, as soon as you do that, it will center it and it will take a picture. If I go back to my Xtor Creative Studio, it's taking a picture. So at the moment it's inkjet. So we switch back to flat surface, take a picture. Now, just to highlight how accurate this other camera is, the close camera, compared to the camera that's attached to the lid, you'll see. In this case, it's come on point. So when I've taken a picture previously, this was just out of focus in the sense of it looked like a zigzag. So in this case, it did a banging job. Now what we'll do is we'll engrave an item since we got the laser head in. So I'll just use one of Xful's keychains, and we'll see this automatic material recognition. We'll see if we can find that. I've never knew it had that. So I have a so we call it just a wooden keychain. So I have this wooden keychain, and what I'll do is I will engrave that. So I'm going to put that in the bed. I'll just put that there like that. So this lineup comes in handy because I know that it's flush when I hold it there. And it does come, like I said, with these little devices. But for the most part, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to use it to stick it down. There is use cases where you would want it stuck down if the material is going to blow, going to move somehow. I'm fairly confident that it's not going to move. Let's do the automatic measure. And it'll come back with a depth. There we go. I'm going to take a picture of it. And it's that simple. So what I'll do is, I think it's got a little bit of dirt on the probe. There we go. With that. And let's see this automatic material testing. Let's see if we can find that. Oh, there it is. Lo and behold, AI automatic recognition. Upload image, upload a clear image. Let's capture with the device. Capture with device camera. Actually quite nice. Improves accuracy. I'd say wouldn't. No, in fact, you know what? I ain't going to enter nothing in there. Let's just have a look. I mean, I could probably help it. I could have entered something in there. This would be helpful. So straight away, it has identified it. It said, this content is generated based on recognition, but please review it carefully. So don't take this as gospel. Do double check this, but this is fantastic. Natural wooden keychain. I'm very satisfied with that. So 40% power, 120 speed, flying safe. So now let's take the guesswork out of it. So I'm going to say, in fact, I'll just engrave my name. That's already on there. I'll spin it around, shrink it down, I'll hit engrave, and as you can see, set the power and the speed accordingly. Hit engrave. So I'm going to hit the button over here. and that will start the job. So right now it's engraving away, but one of the other features that I thought I might show you that I have used, I can enable monitoring. So this is a feature that you see on their highest end machine, the P3. And I click that. So I can see in real time. So I'm sure there's some latency because this is coming over Wi-Fi. The bottom left cutout, the rectangle, that's a live video feed from an external camera. What you're seeing on the actual software itself is from the machine itself, so the camera from the machine. So this is literally providing real time. Can't really see much because it doesn't have far to go. But if you're engraving wider or larger pieces of material or areas, you'll be able to see how it's going without physically checking the machine. So it's 50 seconds left. And this is very, very accurate. But what I'll be doing is I'll be covering the M2 exclusively next week. I'm not sure what days I'll be online yet. It won't be Monday, so it'll be Tuesday onwards. I'll be online. And again, if anyone has any questions, please do reach out. And again, I will be running a promotion, or Xtool will be running a promotion. The 10 people that have brought the M2 from because of this live, they will be entered into a draw, and one of you lucky people will get their order free. There we go. And it's finished. So if I go over, so it's literally that simple. So the quality of that is absolutely phenomenal. And we use the AI detection. I didn't even know that was a thing. And the settings it came up with, absolutely perfect. So this is a very good machine for someone that's just getting into laser engraving. It's your first laser. Xtool have created software and the tools that go with it that make it so easy and effortless to use. In terms of unboxing, the machine is literally ready to go once unboxed, and you do a calibration. So I would recommend this machine as a first-time machine. If you're doing smaller objects, say just coasters, you might be worth investing in the F2, because the F2 and the M1, they can both engrave coasters, but the difference being is the F2 is extremely quick. It really depends on your needs. If you're not sure what type of laser you need, you know you need one, but you're not sure, please reach out and I will help you weigh up the pros and cons and the benefits of different machines, and you can decide then which machine would be a better fit for your business. This is all I have time for today. Thank you for tuning in. I will be online next week, sorry. And again, please do reach out to me if you have any problems or questions. And again, you can reach out to me using the links below or the information below. So wayne@ascendcd.com. You can reach me on phone, so you can give me a call, you can drop me a text, you can WhatsApp me. And if you want to message me through my social media handles, info.ascendcd.com, that will take you to a website where it has all my information, and you can even book a demo if you want.